locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Hey, welcome to the show. It's the Boston Bad Boy, Iron Mike Pelosi here. I'm here with a new guest, and I'm here to tell you people, you subhumans who listen to this show, there's a new sheriff in town. It's me, and I finally got the network to listen to me. We got rid of the Duke. It's a big change, I know, but I think you're going to like it better. We brought in a new co-host, somebody who adds a lot more intellectual diversity, at the very least, to this show. Mean Ryan Green. Ryan, how you doing?
Hey, folks.
Yeah. So Ryan,
hello. How are you?
Ryan's a smart
Great
guy.
to be here.
And Ryan, you are a history aficionado. And so you have this encyclopedic knowledge of American history. And we're changing this show. And we're going to devote it entirely to talking deep dive on interesting historical topics, presidents, the events that happened.
I am so excited to be here. I'm so excited that we're moving away from wrestling and towards books about war.
Absolutely.
Discussions with authors.
Yes.
And deep intellectual dives.
So we're going to start with a 7-part series going through the works of Ken Burns and all the various, writings and stuff that happened in alignment with that. And also, we have a new technology where we're actually live right now, so we can actually take calls, which I think is a very exciting thing.
I'm excited for War Talk Radio.
Yeah, exactly. And we have some calls lined up, and we have some folks ready to go, but we're getting some calls. You want to just jump right into calls?
The lights are blinking
all right, we're
going to
jump into calls.
Here.
All right. First call. Hey, welcome to the new show. About deep dive. We don't even have a name for it yet. I'm still using all the old stuff. But caller, who's this and
War
where
Talk.
are you from?
What the hell are you doing over there, Boston Bad Boy? I've been trying to get in the past half hour. Dude, what are you doing?
I'm sorry, who is this?
Don't act like a jerk. Let me in the damn room so we can get the show going, bro.
I'm sorry.
I'm not feeling well. I don't have time for this.
The thing is that you know that I'm not in the same room because if you go to the secret location, I'm in a new location. I've taken the equipment and I've absconded with it.
We've actually rented some office space from the Emergency Management Association. We're live from a bunker in Framingham, 150 feet below the ground.
Who the hell is that?
You know the man.
That's a new co-host.
Yeah. Mean Ryan
I'm really
Green.
sorry. The network made the choice.
Yeah.
They wanted to go a different way. These things happen.
Dude,
That's the industry.
Listen. I do not feel well. I don't have time for this crap. The listeners, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, he's breaking up.
Are you after?
Maybe pay your phone bill. How about that? Look at
Stop playing.
All right.
Where are you?
Never mind where I am. What do you want to say? So you can get on the phone, get off the phone, so we can get back to the important thing, which is changing this show away from wrestling and not dealing with this crap.
How the hell are you going to change a wrestling show from wrestling when it's a wrestling show?
Because when there's no more wrestling, it's no longer a wrestling show. It doesn't take Einstein to figure that out.
Focus groups have said that war is a much bigger topic than
and
wrestling.
Specifically very dry treatise on the art of war and the results from it.
Are you recording right now?
Recording. We're live.
This is broadcasting all across the world.
Yeah. So I was able to sign a live deal because
with
it
the Alex
wasn't
Jones
about wrestling.
Radio Network.
Yeah.
No, listen. I'm serious. You're going to keep messing around, and I'm going to have to enforce the contract.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? Because I'm a gracious person, as you know. And as the listeners know, I'm a gracious person. I'm giving. I give, and then when there's nothing left, I give some more. So here's what I'm going to do for you. Say your piece, say your goodbyes, and let's move on.
No, go to hell. This is my show.
Yeah.
And first of all, I already told you, Ryan, that you're not invited back. So I don't even understand how you guys want to play tiddlywinks over here. Boston Bad Boy, you haven't even shown up for the past couple of weeks. And now that I'm sick, you want to act like you're some kind of Johnny Big Shot. I don't know what the hell's going on.
We did go to focus groups, and they were giving me really some of the highest scores they'd ever seen. Huge likability.
Focus groups my ass.
Have you been following what's going on in is it Argentina or Venezuela?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a coup d'état. And
Listen,
you
don't
are
have time for that.
you are the
this
latest
one's been
victim.
more successful.
Yeah.
We don't have time for that stuff. And listen, Boston Bad Boy, you owe me an apology for that ridiculous message that you sent me earlier, talking about, I don't know if you should come in today because you might have measles. I don't have friggin' measles, okay? I have a cold.
You did tell me that you were spending time with the Scientologists on that boat. You went on a Scientology cruise to find, quote unquote, find yourself, and you're hanging out with Tom Cruise. I don't know. I thought you might have the measles.
You're a piece of work, man. You're really a piece of work. I don't have
I'm glad
time
you
for
fixed
this
your phone, by the way. This is nice. What do you use this? Like using a rotary phone?
Go to hell.
I figured. Oh, do you have one of those old phones like in Lassie where they'd pick up the part and put it next to their ear and then crank the handle?
I'm surprised you can get a charge on
now?
that StarTAC.
You keep asking me recording. We're live. The
my
network.
God.
Do you understand the network?
I didn't approve us to be doing a live show. It's supposed to be a tape show that we air later. What the hell's going on?
We're actually
here?
live in Times Square.
Yeah.
Yeah, we take the Good Morning America studios for the afternoon.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going to say it for the last friggin' time. Say your piece about your stupid wrestling, and then you're done. You're done. The show's
You're
over.
not in charge of anything here. But listen, I got something to say here. First of all, welcome back to Duke Loves Rasslin, folks. I don't know what the hell's going on this week. I apologize for all these difficulties that these two knuckleheads over there are putting on. This is a show based in Boston. We don't do that New York crap, first of all, so I don't even know, but whatever. I don't have time for that. First and foremost, anyone who's been paying attention lately has seen there's been a major development out there on Twitter where that piece of trash, Glenn Gilberti, a.k.a. Disco Inferno, he got into a heated discussion with the Duke. And I know you all saw that, folks.
Are you name-dropping?
I'm going to tell you right now, okay? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. In fact, you know, Ryan and you, Boston Bad Boy, you guys are a couple of media guys. You understand something when you're not trying to be pains in the asses.
Wow.
Tell me something.
I think is this dispute with Disco Stu? Is this like some sort of like over the top kind of thing, trying to get yourself back in the chair?
Yeah, he wants to be Disco Stu. That's a good point. Tell me something.
Yeah.
TV ratings across the board. In 2019, are more people watching first-time air TV or less people watching first-time air? So when you put something on for the first time...
Yeah, I know what first-time... I know what it means, and the answer is less people are watching it.
Oh.
That's why we're live now. That's why we're doing a live show.
Why? Because you're the only one that uses a rotary phone, and most people have moved on to newer technology.
Such as?
And they've cut the cord. So they're watching stuff on demand, on the internet.
Oh. So this piece of trash, Disco Inferno, who's built a gimmick for himself for the past 5 years, complaining that the sky is falling, WWE's ratings are in the toilet, and you know, everything is bad because their ratings are
wait
so
a minute.
bad.
The two are not mutually exclusive. They do have bad ratings. It doesn't mean that people are not watching it less, because they count deferred watching as part of the ratings, you dodo.
No, they don't count all deferred watching.
Oh, of course they do. Why would they not? They're selling advertising on it, you nudge.
How do you count YouTube spins, and how do you count Hulu spins that happen after the live broadcast? That's not counted in the ratings.
Of course it is. Listen, the TV ratings, the Nielsen TV ratings, for certain, the way they can break them out, they can break them out in many different ways. They could, of course, isolate just the television, but the stuff they're showing you is probably incorporating everything because they're trying to make the numbers look better. And I would be willing to bet that the TV numbers are way down. Way down. Which means
numbers are way down for everything, which is my point.
No, my point is TV numbers are way down. Their numbers in general are down. That means the deferred watching isn't really helping them because no one cares about Vince McMahon's slowly dying circus. Okay, except you, because you guys you think you're friends.
Okay, so you're going to sit here and you're going to try to act like you're Disco Inferno now. You're going to talk the same crap. Why the hell would Fox give WWE $1 billion to air one TV show?
It's the same reason they keep paying Shepard Smith on the news side of things. That's why, because they don't.
Talking about Fox. We're talking about Fox Broadcasting.
Yeah, it's the
same. Not Fox News.
It's the
what
same.
The hell's wrong with you?
It's the same company. You idiot.
It's not though. So again, what's wrong with you?
Do you like that? Again, you must like Fox because you and your fake news. Because of course it's the same company.
Okay, so if the NBA is down, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the NFL is down, If everything in the time slots are down, yet the WWE consistently is in the top 3 whenever they're airing, what does that tell you?
That they're down.
What?
Yeah, they're also down. What is your point? You're saying because everybody
it's not an aberration.
everybody
It's
sucks.
one entity
No,
that's
I know what you're
down.
saying. You're saying
Everything is-
you're saying everybody sucks, so it means they don't suck as bad. No, they suck too, is what it means.
Okay, they suck too. But out of all
Okay,
the
thank you.
people who
I'm
suck,
we just
they're one of
keep
the
that
best
clip.
at not
Yeah,
sucking.
I'm isolating that clip. By the way, they suck. Every time you talk about WWE, I'm going to say, and remember when Duke said they suck too.
Go to hell.
I'm going to send
Go
to
to
Vince McMahon.
So here's my point. Disco Inferno, who, just like the Boston Bad Boy, you guys get off on disrespecting the WWE. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it's really just as simple as that. Viewer habits have changed in 2019.
My habits,
Okay, how they consume and interact with brands have changed.
my habits have never changed because I've never watched professional wrestling, nor would I ever begin to watch it. So don't talk to me about my habits.
First of all, no one cares what you watch, Boston Bad Boy. If it were up to you, you'd be sitting reading Moby Dick every day. So just go. No one. Ryan, who's a man of international.
Oh, here we go.
history,
Now he's going to now he's going to try and divide us. Go ahead. Now
right.
build Ryan up.
Yeah. Ryan is a man who actually consumes things and knows what's going on in the world. Isn't that right, Ryan?
No disrespect, Stu, but this has really the ratings are taking off for this show right now.
Yeah,
Through the roof.
we're actually looking at Nielsen ratings right now in real time, and
Yeah, because I'm on the show. It's my show. That's the point.
no. This was before you came on the show.
A lot of excitement about Ken Burns coming on later.
Yes,
Ken Burns is not coming on this show. What the hell?
it'd be the best show, best guest,
I've been Ken
best
Burns
guest,
in this show
best
3 years
guest this
ago.
show ever had.
We've
Ken
got
Burns
some
and his
great guests booked.
yeah.
Whatever.
Legends.
All right, you know what? Let's get into the top stories. But I just wanted to say though, once again, WWE is fine, folks. Anybody who's pushing out garbage, they don't know what they're talking about. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Are we done here? We got to get because we have Ken Burns. He's actually waiting. He wants to come on and talk about his new documentary.
He can take a hike. Okay.
Let's just settle this and say WWE is the highest rated professional wrestling currently on network television.
Because it's the only.
You don't have to say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I was being generous. It is the highest rated professional wrestling program on TV.
Right. That's like saying Murder, She Wrote reruns are the highest rated Angela Lansbury series on TV that they're showing on the Decade channel because it's the only thing on.
You know, the problem that I have with you two, you're like Mutt and Jeff.
Well, we're too smart for you, I think, is what the real problem is.
You just think you're so clever, and you're really not. So we'll leave that alone. Anyways, let's talk about the Revival. Folks, the Revival have been trying to get out of their contract, okay?
I feel their pain.
They have let the WWE know that they're not satisfied. They want to move on. So what has the WWE done? They've tacked on more time onto their contracts. This is the thing, you know.
Yeah. I feel their pain because I'm trying to end this show and end my contract, and you won't do that.
No, because I learned from my friend Vincent Kennedy McMahon. When you take time off, you got to repay that time. Okay? That's how it works. That's how the contract works.
So can I just ask a question, Duke?
Go ahead.
So how did they get extra time added onto their contract without their permission? How does that work? They have a mandatory
they signed
contract
the contract.
extension?
It's built into the contract. So one of the guys was injured for a few months. So because he was not able to perform consecutively for a period of time, he has to make that time up. So they actually add that on to the back end of your contract. You see that?
So
see that? So you want to leave? No, we're going to give you a couple extra months here, pal. Not only can't you leave, you got to stay longer than you expected to.
You know, it'd be great if they tacked on health care for when these guys' brains have turned to mush and they can barely walk. That would be a great add-on. How about talk about that, adding on to that contract?
Listen, listen. You're not going to pull the John Oliver crap here. They're independent contractors. They don't need health care.
You'd be so lucky to have John Oliver on this show. You'd get off easy.
Independent contractors. They don't need health care. You know, they make plenty of money in the WWE. They got to find a better way.
Wait a minute.
Okay?
They are carnival workers. They do not make plenty of money. Some make plenty of money. The Rock makes plenty of money. Or who's that other guy with his dungarees? He makes a lot of money. And the women
Who's
probably
the guy with the dungarees? This really is a history show.
Yeah, yeah. John Cena. That's who I'm trying to think of.
The man with the dungarees.
He does. He's got stretched dungarees. And Duke, you have to admit that that's true.
we're not going to talk about
exactly.
John Cena negative. You know what we will talk about with John Cena? Vin Diesel has been dropping hints that John Cena is going to join the Fast and Furious franchise.
Vin Diesel,
Shout out to John Cena.
Vin Diesel, a man who's always had his pulse on the finger on the pulse of Hollywood. It's like Vin Diesel. You get Vin Diesel's blessing. It's like, no one else was available.
John Cena in Paul Walker's hot seat.
Oh, too soon?
That's right. Speaking of wrestlers breaking records at the box office, how about the Avengers? Huh? How about the Avengers?
How about
Dave Batista coming off his match with Triple H at WrestleMania, breaking records at the box office once again.
As one of 42 actors in that movie.
Okay, but he makes the franchise.
No, he doesn't make the franchise.
Everything he learned from Vince McMahon has translated.
Robert Downey Jr. has nothing to do with it, and Benedict Cumberbatch and all those guys. It's Dave Batista in green skin. He's the one that he makes it.
That's right. He's one of the greatest actors in the history.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Hey, listen. Look at his numbers. Okay, when he's in the movie, it's big time. The only person bigger than him is The Rock. Okay.
So by that logic, this show is so popular solely because of me, and you have nothing to do with it. Less than nothing to do with it.
You've been gone and the numbers have been up, but we won't talk about that. Yeah. Moving on. Dean Ambrose has officially left the WWE. His contract expired. He didn't renew, and he drops a video under his old name, John Moxley. So there's speculation that he's going to join All Elite Wrestling, which is going to debut in October, the first company to rival WWE since WCW. So this is going to be a big deal.
Is this the one with Billy Corgan?
No. That's the NWA. That's a whole other story there. This is the one with the Khan family, who are billionaires. They actually have more money than Vince McMahon. They own the Jacksonville Jaguars, and also they own a soccer team. Mm-hmm. They have started a wrestling promotion, and they've grabbed a bunch of old WWE guys and some guys from Japan, and they're going to give it a go. Do you think
that they could buy a team like the Dallas Cowboys and give them a shot at winning something at some point?
Well, considering the Jacksonville Jaguars have never won anything, no, I don't think they're the family to do it.
So you think no one can help Dallas is what you're saying?
What's wrong with you? Stop that, okay? Stop that. That's not.
Can you finish this up, because again we've really got to get back to the new format of the show.
Brock Lesnar has put out information stating that he's going to retire from the UFC. Now listen, here's my take on that. Dana White is not offering enough money for Lesnar to fight Daniel Cormier for the heavyweight championship. So Lesnar says, okay, I'll retire. Dana White, he's not budging. So we're going to have to wait and see if this is a negotiation tactic or if something's going to happen here.
You know, I know we've talked to some people who are really into fighting. Reed, you know what I mean? These guys who are experts. I think that we're over the bell curve on UFC. I think we've hit peak. I think we're past peak popularity for UFC fighting, and somehow professional wrestling keeps going, but UFC fighting, I think we're past peak with that as far as it being a social force. Remember how NASCAR was really, really, really big in the late 90s? For some reason, it appeared from like out of nowhere and became this huge national thing, and now it's gone. I think UFC is really that. I mean, it still happens, and it's still big in its own zone, but I think that having any kind of national draw, I think we're well past that.
Well, I think that the issue is they don't have enough stars right now.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. But also, it's a blood sport that's not for everybody, and I think current culture, we have enough blood sport on CNN every day.
Well, like I said, they don't have enough stars. And also, I think they're making a major mistake with the majority of their content, the overwhelming majority. I'd say it's almost up to about 90% of their content you have to pay for on the ESPN Plus, which is a streaming service. So that's a big deal. They need to offer some more free cards on regular ESPN or ESPN2, just like what they're doing with boxing right now. You know, you can catch some great boxing matches on NBC and Fox and ESPN, and
You got to give them a taste.
But boxing went through that same thing where it became all pay-per-view in the late 90s, and boxing kind of dropped off because nobody wanted to pay $35 on a Saturday night to watch a boxing match.
For 30 seconds, if it was Tyson, you know what I mean? You watch a guy get knocked out in the first round, and then you paid $45 or whatever for, you know.
There's a reason why the WWE still puts itself on TV, and that's because
I think that's
isolate yourself.
It's the only reason that model still works is because they saturate it free. Like the free part is the saturation, and so people are willing to throw down a couple bucks to watch the premium events or whatever. But it goes back to even when we're saying that WrestleMania is no longer. We talked a couple of weeks ago that it's no longer this big thing. It's become too unwieldy, and it's become just a bloated version of the everyday free product. That's where they can fuck it up.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. WrestleMania is still the biggest event.
You would say no, and who do we talk to? Who helped us break it down?
Well, I think you're thinking of Bruce Mitchell, who was trying to talk some nonsense. But
no, he was talking
the
complete.
Situation is the tax. I mean, wherever they have WrestleMania, that municipality is going to make upwards of $100 million in tax revenue. Wrestling companies set up smaller wrestling shows throughout the week to try to leech off the WWE's fans who were in that area for WrestleMania.
Yeah, but listen, you're thinking small picture. Yeah, at the venue, they're going to make money. I'm talking about overall, if they don't get it aligned and make it actually something special, it's just become another bloated television product like they do 3 times a week anyway on the USA Network, which is amazing that even still exists.
The USA Network is one of the top networks on cable television because of WWE.
I can't think of the last time I looked at USA Television. It's still like late night. Do they do like sort of semi-softcore like that like it was back in the 90s?
That's when you're tuning in.
That's when I was in the late 90s.
Negativity. You're being very negative today, and it's unacceptable. And Ryan, you're a bad influence on this guy. That's really what the issue is.
I'm really keeping really positive about everything. I mean, I'm really happy with my new job hosting this show. You know, the ratings
See, that's
are
the
through
power
the
of
roof
positive
already.
thinking.
Listen, he can't hire you to do something that he has no control over. Okay,
he didn't hire me. The network hired me.
I can't even fire you because you never hired.
He's been sent down by the network. You see, because I sold the show to the network because you have no control.
The WWE's numbers in the first quarter are not very good.
There's a big not surprise.
They're down. And
is it because he kept all his money in Deutsche Bank next to Trump's money?
Vince McMahon explained because of key superstar injuries and a slight dip in live attendance figures. That is why the first quarter was lower than projected. Nonetheless, he expects the company to still do over $1 billion profit for the fiscal year.
Again, it's like the theory that like the Big Bang is part of the system where like the universe explodes and then it cools off and then it just comes back together, then it goes back and then it blows up again. Just it's done in an infinite number of times. This WWE corporation is going to get too big and it's going to have to retract. Maybe they take it private again eventually, but I don't think it can sustain the growth. There's no way. There's too many other entertainment options out there.
Here's the thing. Those two separate billion-dollar each deals, airing rights for Raw and airing rights for SmackDown Live, so it's over $2 billion total, which they're not going to kick in until later this year. That hasn't hit the books yet. When that hits the books, he's absolutely right. For the fiscal year, they're going to be way ahead.
I don't know. I don't believe it.
They're just going by the numbers of everything before that big deal.
What happens when the tide turns on wrestling, like it does on everything else eventually, or it goes into a big an interest recession where people aren't as like in NASCAR. You know what I mean? They had these huge sponsorships, the whole thing, and it's still big, but not what it was. Not a publicly traded company. You know, it goes away.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. WWE will still be standing.
Yeah, they'll still be standing, but the carnival, they'll be back to being just circus carnies who go around. They have the sawdust on the floor in the dressing rooms. And then maybe it'll be good again. You're
so negative. That's just not the case.
Because the talent will have to actually have talent and not have to hack their way up because they're good looking.
Make wrestling great again.
Exactly.
All right. You guys you're out of control.
Listen, it was great talking to you. I think we need to go because Ken Burns.
We got one more major topic that we really need to dig into here. Lio Rush. He's a young man from the Indies. I think he's only about 22, 23 years old. Father of some kids. Good guy. For some reason, somebody has made it a point to put out a lot of negative press about this guy. And it's starting to affect his job in the WWE. So, literally yesterday, he was contacted by Fightful, which is a pro wrestling website. It's actually a combat sports website. And he set the record straight. And he let them know that the WWE is not paying him enough. According to Lio, who technically was the manager of Bobby Lashley, catchphrases that he came up with, the WWE produced T-shirts for and were selling them and not giving him a cut of the profits like they were doing to Lashley. Also, when Lashley was doing live event signings, they weren't inviting Lio to do those as well. So these are other ways that the superstars can add on to their income. And for some reason, Lio was cut out of that, even though these two guys are a package deal. He's a little guy. Lashley's the big muscle guy. He's the manager. Why wouldn't you have those guys appear together? So he was speaking up about that. And I guess somebody didn't like that. So they started leaking all kinds of stuff to the media, really making the kid look bad.
You know, that's all very interesting, but Charlize Theron is on the television right now in the Dior commercial, and she's totally distracted from what you were saying. She is incredibly attractive. And did you hear the story about how no one asks her out? She said that men will not come up and talk to her because they're intimidated.
She hasn't replied to my letters.
It's because
we're talking about Lio Rush
it's
right
because,
now. Nobody cares about
it's because you cut those letters out of a magazine and glued them all together.
So it brings up the point, though.
Look at how he talks over me, like I'm not even talking about something important.
It brings up the point. He says that while he's walking around having to support his family, barely able to get by, the WWE is pretty much disregarding him. This is another example. Should the WWE, should the wrestling business have a union? Because how can a guy participate in the manner he's been participating and get cut out of the financial benefits of it?
Rarely do I agree with you, but I think that the wrestlers should be in a union. I mean, everybody else in the creative industries is in a union.
Hey, take that pinko commie crap out of here.
That's right.
No,
because there don't seem to be any hard and fast rules, are there?
No, because
when
it's
you have
carnival.
a binding contract, it seems like we just kind of make up the contracts, say, with the WWE as you go along.
Well, and here's the issue. The pay thing is a real big problem. I mean, when you have somebody like Brock Lesnar who's making $12 million, and then you have Becky Lynch, who's literally the hottest wrestler in the company right now, and she's barely making $1 million, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, it's called misogyny. That's what's wrong with it.
Sure.
And Vince McMahon.
But it doesn't even have to do with gender. It has to do with
internal
politics.
No, but at the WWE, it's total gender as well. They want to exploit the women.
But if you had a standard boilerplate contract in
right.
place, then everybody would have somewhat pay equity.
Right. I mean, actors are in a union, so why couldn't they? The basic setup exists for creative performers to be in a union. The NFL's a union.
All other major league sports are unionized, as far as I know.
Right.
But let me ask you, fellas, this. Should Lio Rush have stepped out and spoken to the media like that?
Why not? What's he got to lose? Because it seems like they're trying to push him out anyway.
It may be his only option.
The only way to hit Vince McMahon is to hit him, his image or his pocketbook.
So you don't feel that he should have dealt with it internally?
Maybe we don't know if he tried to and was unsuccessful, and that's why he took it to the airwaves.
Or as usual, you're a mark, and this is just they're working you for a storyline.
A storyline about a guy who's not getting paid. That would be the worst storyline ever.
Well, it's on par with the awful storylines Vince McMahon comes up with lately.
It's a good gossip story.
I don't know about that. Speaking of story, they're going back to Saudi Arabia.
Don't even start with that. I don't even want to talk about it. Are the women allowed to go this time?
What's that?
Are the women allowed to go this time?
Yes. There will be a women's match for the first time in history in Saudi Arabia. There will be a women's wrestling match.
That's nice. Are women in that country allowed to answer the phone yet, or how does that work?
Listen, there's progress
Get the hell out of here.
Everything can't happen overnight. There's progress happening.
Did you realize that progress would have happened by U.S.-backed missiles if they weren't sitting on all the oil they're sitting on over there?
Oh, geez.
As Eleanor Roosevelt once said, first comes women's wrestling, then comes women's driving.
That's right. Well, I think women do drive over there, so look at that. You see that, right?
As of 3 months ago.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly right. Yeah.
Oh.
So don't act like there's all this progress. This is 2019.
All I'm saying is Vince McMahon, quite possibly, is the greatest goodwill ambassador of our life. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, again, speaking of Eleanor Roosevelt, though, Vince McMahon totally eclipsed her.
Vince McMahon, the Woodrow Wilson of competitive wrestling.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I want to know what you folks out there think, because I don't really care what these yucks have to say. Head over to Facebook, head over to Twitter, type in Duke Loves Rasslin. Let me know.
I changed all that. That doesn't exist anymore. The social media has been updated to the Ken Burns experience.
Listen, I will have you banned from Facebook if you do anything to the Duke Loves Rasslin social media.
By the way, I think you were on that list I saw that Facebook banned today. That was Louis Farrakhan, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Alex Jones, our good friend.
Oh, yeah.
And the Duke.
I was on that list.
And the Duke, of
sure.
course.
I was on that list, yeah.
If you weren't, you should have been.
If I was on that list, it was probably somebody who was trying to take shots at Vince. They were using me to get to him.
Yeah, okay. You know what?
If you're coming at the king, you get a hit with the first shot.
So listen, Duke, it's really been nice. You know what? I'm kind of glad I let you say goodbye. Now I feel like I did the right thing. And you came on. We're going to move on.
It's a great start for our new radio
Yeah, I mean,
show.
I just got a note from Ken Burns' people. He had to go to another interview with PBS, so he's going to come back next week, and we're going to do our proper full show.
Unfortunately, we had a pledge drive conflict.
Yeah, exactly. So
don't worry, fans. I promise you we'll be back to a regular format next week.
You keep saying we. What are you learning, French? There is no we.
I will find a way to fix this, folks. I apologize for the nonsense this week. This is unbelievable.
Okay, well, anyway, listen, thank you for joining the new show. You're a horrible first guest. Got off on a really bad foot.
Go to hell.
But we're going to get going now.
And I'll be back next week with a fascinating insight into war and peace.
Thank you. I can't wait for that.
Mr. Tony Schiavone, and we're desperately out of time on Duke Loves Wrestling.